murdered unarmed civilians walking by, the children that day in that street in Baghdad. A war where there's only one army, not two. An army against ragged people that used to have an identity, no more. A privatized army to transcend legal barriers that might hint at later responsibilities, like a well-drafted contract written by a torture-advocating lawyer that will save money to his boss. Like an agency usurping the place of a union, mediating the misery of the many, saving money for their boss. Those black, dirty waters. But it wasn't that. What it was. We all heard that absurd dialogue above, that cold, indifferent, vulgar, cruel, dumb video game raging in those helicopters, that shared, bored, detached, racist, contemptuous nightmare that demanded some action and set in motion the slaughter. Those Iraqis, like hundreds more, thousands, perhaps millions, they won't be counted, happened to be turned into targets to be smashed, into laying bulks to be bled on the asphalt. Just a few more in a numberless sea of bodies. That speech in the helicopters, hadn't we all heard it for months? Hadn't we all been contaminated? Didn't we all live a certain measure, much too big against our will, of the obscure world of the predators? So effective, basic, cheap a fantasy. Sometimes truth too is like a fairy tale, only in brighter colors. It comes in the shape of a young prince, blonde and blue-eyed, brave, daring, hopeful, with an innocent smile, with a healthy manhood, and eyes that spark as he sees the lies. A prince who playfully, joyfully, even naively, you could say, decides that those are people that die. They are not enemies, targets, collaterals, evil creatures too cheap to worry about or mourn, but people like him and you and I. Yet this vision is high treason. He's been trained to see otherwise by the warlords that preside this pillaged earth, this engineered realm of desolated poverty, where an invisible few keep us all in isolated slumber so our fear will make them rich. Bradley Manning, our prince, knows the game he's put within, but he trusts there are ways to regain freedom, paths that when we take can give us all a say in the way matters are dealt with. He believes we must all know what's at stake, what has been hidden. He believes we won't turn our heads away if we are given this place of knowledge. And like all heroes do, he knows he's not alone in his yearnings. He counts on our courage and union. He bets on our dignity as people to act together for peace, for an end to the shameless horror that cuts lives and livelihoods, families and homes, schools and hospitals, and that shreds our own very soul in the name of money, in the name of war. This is the reason why the prince is in chains. This is an urgent poem, Bradley Manning, and it must reach you. It must reach a double-sided axe, the sacred space, the center of the labyrinth, the place where the flame is alive and it may become a forest of flames, a mountain of fire, a city of light. It must penetrate thick walls and conspiracies of silence that cry in eloquent loudness that the empire has no prisoners of conscience, for they all try to isolate your clarity, and your clarity is also ours. It belongs to us all. We cannot afford to miss it. This poem, Bradley Manning, must enter your gut and infuse it with power, with every memory of joy you must use to retain your sanity, so it gives you back the certainty that you won't be left alone. Can they suppress a silent mental song in your cell? Use it as an invocation that it's your chainers, not you, who have been isolated, that it is them, not you, who have created their damnation. Your voice has sung too bright a song not to be heard and acted upon. Yet you have been wounded for too long by the five-angled arrow that poisons your hope with impunity, with the same impunity that murdered those people in Baghdad and millions more and stole the riches of your land and my land. Bradley Manning, I say your name so you may hear me, so I may also hear your voice soon. It has too long been silenced. I don't care if your voice is darkened by the long confinement, by pain or painkillers. I need to hear it. I need to see you in the light of day. I need you to be free soon. For your joy is mine, and so is your hope, and they must be returned to you soon. I cannot live without them. We cannot live without them. This is the hour of the wolf. Just as at dawn light rises and expands unobtrusively and darkness fades away so smoothly you can hardly notice, your hope has risen and expanded our lives, and your freedom is a global volcano fuming. Thank you.